guys again, and now you are in the part 2 of the third episode of Is It Bawal, the Jonaxx podcast. I'm still here with Yani, and for this part 2, we were gonna be talking about yung mga naging improvement ni Jonaxx sa kanyang new adult writing and yung mga naging impact ng kanyang new characters sa yung mga sa mga latest entries niya, like yung sa Ras and sa After the Last. Okay, so Yani, ano lang sasabi mo ngayon sa improvement ni Jonaxx sa kanyang new adult writing?
Actually, very, more mature and more, yung themes niya aligned for adults talaga. Like, you can tell that a teenager won't enjoy the story kasi hindi niya maintindihan because previous new adult works niya like the Elizalde Brothers, the Art of Seduction, the mapapansin kaya, may mga pagkukulang talaga sa pag-expound on the themes. Whereas dito kasi sa mga bago niyang sinulat, they're more on exploring how these characters will navigate into certain situations. Like, especially yung nakikita ko during Ras is that yung characters niya, they're much more into their judgment, into their thoughts, into their own emotions kesa sa pag na-navigate sa situation. Like, you can tell that the characters, hindi lang talaga hinabol nila yung romance, pero hinabol nila ang pag-solve ng kanilang conflict. And that conflict literally involved them in a dangerous situation, which is hindi mo makikita in her previous stories because yung previous yung adult stories niya were only may love triangle, may bawal dito, bawal dyan, like forbidden love, like trope. Pero
like, very romance-centered talaga.
Yeah, romance-centered. Ngayon kasi is that she's exploring with action, with thriller. Makikita mo nga, it's not only about love, may sitwasyon pala na gusto nilang isolve at i-resolve, and it's mostly in the past talaga na nangyayari and that they were still immature when it happened. So nung adult sila, nadala nila yung trauma, ganyan ang kanilang mga response. Like, it started nung sa Costaliona series niya, but eventually nag-evolve siya in Ras and ATL. Diyan mo makikita nga, ganyan pala talaga yung mga characters niya ngayon. They're no longer centered on romance. They're no longer centered on anong bawal sa kanila. They're centered on a certain issue na naapektaran sila. So, ganun ang evolution niya sa pagsusulat niya sa ngayon yung stories.
Yeah. Alam mo, buti nga nabanggit mo yung Costaliona kasi na-realize ko rin na yung Costaliona series, I think parang yun yung naging I guess sort of like training ground. Parang dun siya medyo nag-dip into starting na hindi lang puro romance yung center, no? Kung saan ako-focus yung stories niya. I mean, obviously, Costaliona was very heavy on romance, right? And pero sa nakikita ko sa mga stories doon, medyo doon na siya nag-start talaga na hindi lang puro romance yung tinatakal sa mga stories niya. Like, meron ding mga, like sinabi mo nga, yung mga conflicts or real life issues na yung katulad nung yung kay Yuri, di ba? Yung naging issues niya sa showbiz career niya. Tapos, yung pasok din ng mga, yung naalala ko yung kay Aya, di ba? Naalala mo yung major issue niya dun is, di ba, yung tinatry niyang alalahanin yung ano ba nangyari sa buhay niya. Yung amnesia niya kasi, di ba? It was really a big factor sa story. Tapos, kaya nga, di ba, doon tayo na-introduce sa magaling na transition ni Jonaxx, yung biglang nag-reminisce pala sa past, tapos biglang present na agad. Yun yung sa magandang ginawa niya doon. Pero so tama nga, doon talaga nag-start, deep into other than romance yung si Jonaxx. Parang unti-unti niyang sinimulan dito sa Costaliona, and then naging mas full force na pagdating ng Rera Avis tsaka itong sa After the Last. So maganda tong naging pag-i-evolve nung kanyang pagsusulat kasi at least in a way parang yun nga, it offers something new, something fresh for the readers. It's not that nagsasawa tayo sa romance. Like, everyone loves a good romantic story. It's tale as old as time. Everyone likes that. Especially sa sa ating mga babae kasi syempre patok naman lagi ang romance genre, right? Pero yun nga, yung pag-insert nga ng other themes and other genres sa stories niya, it gives a little more umph, a little more yung nga pizzazz, and mas naging edge, mas nagkaroon ng edge, kumbaga, yung mga stories niya. They become more vibrant, more interesting, more dynamic, kumbaga, sa panlasa natin. Kaya pag nagbabasa tayo, it's becoming more immersive for us. Kaya yun yung masasabi ko na maganda itong naging pag-evolve sa pagsusulat niya. And ayun nga, syempre, yun nga kasi para meron din something na more to offer pa for us. And I know Jonaxx has more in her mind na ma-offer pa sa atin. Like, imagine mo, like, hindi siya talaga nauubusan ng ideas on the stories that she wants to write. Kasi yun yung maganda sa kanya, na she is very passionate about writing. So that's why the ideas just keep on flowing in her mind. And she's creating all these universes in her mind. And kaya lagi tayong may mga bagong series na aabangan sa kanya. So, yun yung masasabi ko talaga sa improvement niya sa new style of writing niya. And anything else na i-add mo about that one?
I think na mas na-pull off niya yung mga tropes nung sa previous na years sa Wattpad, kasi yung mga mafias, yung mga bad boys, mas flesh out siya sa bagong niyang series, which is hindi mo inakalaan kasi na yung series niya pala was already talking about syndicates, or was already talking about kidnappings, mga underground businesses. And noon kasi sa mga previous stories on Wattpad is like ginamit nila to for the hype kasi yun ang pinakapatok kasi nila. And mostly hindi na center on how that job actually happens. Pero dito sa stories niya, sa baguhan yung stories, you get to know ito pala yung jobs nila when they're doing intelligence work, when they're doing underground work. Diyan mo makikita nga, ganito pala yan. And it also centers more on crime. I mean, nag-start naman dun sa CLS niya, especially sa part yung sa kina Yuri, yung nangyari kay Flynn, and yung sa Whispers of the Wind, yung kay Annalise. But mas na-flesh out siya sa mga bago niyang series. Sa Ras kasi, nakikita ko nga, though centered siya on military agents, mga nagtatrabaho in law enforcement, makikita mo rin that how they handle actual situations rin. And it's not about good versus evil or right versus wrong. It's about kung saan talaga yung principles mo ma-aligned. And same goes to after the last series. Kasi after the characters, they literally come from a family that funds syndicates, yung parang godfather ng atake. And you clearly see that it's not for young minds to read. If you're already like old in a JSL, if you've been a JSL for like a long time na, makikita mo dyan that she's not exploring these old tropes for the sake of it, or para ma-refresh natin yung feelings natin sa old stories ng Wattpad or mga binabasa natin noon, but to actually see how people navigate through actual real life scenarios, especially when it already involves crime. Because sa CLS kasi hindi siya masyadong na-tackled. But here in her recent stories, yan ang center sa buong plot ng story, which is very new to the readers. Like, nung nag-start yung Ras, I was like senior high na sa time na yun, and then coming college. So, as someone na matagal na rin sa fandom, I would say na maganda talaga yung pagtatakol niya ng bagong content, because hindi ka magsasawa. Because though even late na siya for how many years sa pagsabay sa ganyan na trope, you can say that she pulled it off. Kasi super detailed and comprehensive yung nangyayari. And that it involved something that's true and happening in real life. Like yung sa nangyari sa kay Raika, I was amazed. Natakol niya pala yun. And that kids or like preteens can also make these huge mistakes, but at the same time they're given that avenue to actually improve. And that's not how everyone should see it, because I think Jonaxx is trying to knock na on her news stories the morality of her readers. Like, how are you going to act when this situation actually happens? How are you going to react when you read these kinds of news? How are you going to react if it happens to people na you can actually know from a certain point of view? Like, she's already knocking on readers' feelings. She's not letting the readers feel the same feelings as her characters, but she's letting the readers feel their feelings as readers in her news stories, which is also nakikita ko, especially when I read and reread her stories. Like, mahook na talaga ako, because even if pang ilang basa mo na, there's still the thrill sa themes niya sa baguhan ng stories.
Totoo yan. So, I'm assuming na yung nangyari sa Rara Avis, kasi I wasn't active pa sa fandom when it started, and I'm assuming wala siyang warning about that one, right? So, I guess naging gulatan talaga rin nung nirelease yung Shout in Your Fingertips, right? Kasi I'm assuming na parang super shocking talaga siya, kasi yung like you said, never pa siya nakapagsulat ang ganito before, yung mga ganong themes. And ang naiisip ko rin is yung reason behind ng pagsusulat niya nung ganito, yung sa Rara Avis tsaka sa After the Last, is tama nga yung mapapaisip na yung mga readers na mafe-feel nila, yung it touches on morality na nga. So parang it will give like a question mark to you as a reader na, am I gonna be reacting the same way as the characters? Like, ano yung magiging reaction ko kapag ako yung nakaranas nito? Am I gonna be judging them? Or am I gonna be like understanding or helping them? Yung bang ganun na yung nagiging effect na sa'yo, it really will make you question your core values na and principles. Like, parang in a way, it makes you think na, oh my gosh, kung yung tipong kaya nang gawin ni Jonaxx gantong impact sa mga readers niya, that really says something a lot about her talent in writing. Kasi hindi lang, like hindi lang talaga puro pakilig na, parang in a way, parang mapapa-existential crisis ka pa at some point. Kasi ang ganda talaga ng impact. Talagang Rara Avis is really greatly written talaga. Talagang like social issues, heavy talaga siya on social issues na talaga. And but at the same time, hindi rin siya nagkulang sa pagpapakilig din. Yun yung nagustuhan ko rin dito na I appreciate din na talagang she is touching na talaga. Actually, not touching. She really dealt with what real life issues look like. Yung mga nangyayari sa mga tao when they deal with unfortunate situations. But at the same time, hindi rin naman siya nagkulang sa romance part din. Yung talagang pinakilig pa rin naman tayo ng mga couple sa Rara Avis, right? Pinakilig, pinatawa, tsaka yung syempre, yung spicy scenes talagang hindi rin talaga nagkulang si Jonaxx doon. So, talagang it's a good balance of all those factors do sa stories niya. Parang, kumbaga, lahat, alam mo yung kompletos recados kung sa pagkain, kumbaga sa pagkain, ganun yung atake talaga. It's a really great recipe that she made. Kaya no wonder naman talaga na a lot of readers gusto nila ang Rara Avis. Like, a lot of them are favorite talaga nila ang Rara Avis. Kaya nga ang dami nga nangungulila na, 'di ba? Gusto na magkaroon ng fifth story.
Gusto na nila yung fifth installment kasi
exactly.
Nakakasya siya. Pero mas nahook ako dun sa ATL because it's more expanded version sa mga issues na tinakol sa Rara Avis.
Yes, totoo yan.
Palawa naman, it's not told in a perspective na heroic yung characters. Yung mga characters dyan, like the male leads, they literally came from a criminal family which they tried to walk away. And that, makikita ko nga, super distorted talaga yung characters doon. Like,
I know.
I can compare Made of Glass to Give In To You kasi pareho naman yung bida, they're artists. And
tama.
In that sense kasi is like, yung sa kay Portia, nag-competition siya with her half-sister pero wala siyang grudge na na-hold dyan. And we don't really know what she really feels towards her half-sister. Pero here, dito sa made of glass. They're literally in a competition. Like, their existence is really in a competition. And the fact that yung ancestor nila is a national artist, so kaya mahirap talaga nga magpa-impress sila sa kanilang parents. And you don't also know the character na good or bad ba talaga siya, because
I know.
yung ate ni Winter kasi, she's really kind at soft-spoken, though may mga flaws siya, but you can't also help but criticize both of them, criticize their parents, kasi ang super gulo ng family life nila. And though you can see that in the different stories ni Jonaxx, where the character has to compete with their siblings, pero dito kasi is that nakikita mo nga super problematic talaga yung nangyayari from childhood until adulthood. Like, the trauma response is so overwhelming that you can't help but different thoughts about the character. Like, yung nasagasaan, spoiler na lang, nasagasaan ni Winter yung ate Crystal niya, even though she did not mean it, but though there was this some sort of satisfaction na nagawa niya yun. And that yung si ate Crystal niya was like, hindi mo alam if you can be kind to her or you can hate her, because there are times that she parents her sister, but at the same time hindi niya kaya mag-parent or mag-suppress sa kanyang own feelings because of her family, because of her parents, because of her sister. Like, ang super gulong lang talaga nila as characters. And you can't help but think na, ay, ganito pala yun. It's not everybody can have kindness towards their siblings, especially when their existence is in a competition. And same goes yung sa kay Naya. You can also feel the indifference towards her previous marriage. Like, you won't know if like inalagaan ba siya, or if this is like grooming because mas matanda yung asawa niya. You can't think if like it was actually love, or it was like it was like just convenience disguised as love. You don't know anong nangyayari because the spouse is dead, and you don't know maybe Naya just loved him because ganyan siya mag-isip before, or you don't know if ganito ba talaga yung nangyayari, because it's really messy, and that all the characters have their skeletons inside their closet, and they are shy to admit it. And Jonaxx is not making the reader side with her characters, and after the last year, she's making her readers think and scrutinize these characters at aantayin kung anong development nila. And it's really a roller coaster aside sa spicy scenes nila It's really emotionally and logically overwhelming at some point, but it's a really good read. And not everyone can grasp that because she's evolving and the characters are also evolving.
Exactly. Totoo yan. That's really true. And you know what's really funny about this? So after the last, I never thought na as a reader, I would be rooting for a Sindicato character. That's the funny thing about this, right? Kasi nga, di ba, yung sinabi mo nga, like, yung morally gray dito, hindi mo alam kung are they good people, are they bad people. Kaya talagang, parang matatawa ka na lang na you are sometimes gonna be rooting na kapag yung itong character si Winter, di ba? Yung binanggit mo yung sinagasaan niya yung sister niya. Mapapaisip ko na, alam mo, actually deserve yung sister niya. Kasi tinarador niya si Winter, di ba? Kasi di ba alam na ni Crystal na Winter is in love with Alfie. Tapos makikita ni Winter that they are kissing each other. So syempre, it's betrayal, right? It's betrayal in its core. Kasi kapatid mo yung umahas Pero at the same time, alam mo rin sa sarili mo na alam naman din kasi ni Winter na parang hindi naman parang pinilit niya yung sarili niya with Alfie. Like, she was just really desperate to get him. And alam naman natin lahat na si Alfie is in love with her sister, si Crystal. So, yun yung ginawang atake ni Jonaxx na nagkakaroon ka ng moral dilemma. Like, oh my gosh, am I gonna root for Winter or am I gonna be hating her? Tapos pati rin yung mga J-boys nga sa After the Last kasi knowing that they have that criminal past. Tapos pa nakikita mong nag-revert na sila doon sa family business nila nung na-trouble na yung J-girls nila. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I really gonna be rooting for the syndicates here? Like, ayokong mahuli sila ng mga police. Ayokong magkaroon sila ng trouble with the law enforcement. I want them to succeed with this operation. Yung nag-shift talaga yung perspective mo and yung thinking mo nga. So talagang very well done talaga tong series na to. It makes you ask, I mean, I know in real life, syempre, alam mo kung ano yung tama sa mali, pero in the moment of reading this, it makes you question like, are you gonna be rooting for them? Are they bad? Are they good? Ano ba talaga? Yung ganung dilemma, the moral dilemma. It's really fascinating and interesting to dive into.
Nahirapan kasi ako because yung sa scene na pinatay ni Cameron yung ama ni Naya, I was like, bakit ako nag-root sa bida na pumatay?
Yes, I know.
No, I'm really against na patayin mo yung tao. Dapat you have to file a case, ganito, ganyan. Pero dito sa story niya, why am I happy na pinatay ng bida?
I know. Di ba naalam mo sa comment section, like, satisfying talaga siya.
Like, there's some sort of satisfaction, but at the same time, you can't help but question yourself, bakit ganito yung feeling ko?
I know, and that is so true.
Sa main of class, nakikita ko din, Piccolo was the kasi, yung character na medyo righteous, kunwari.
Yes, oo.
He's also like, rooting to do these other horrible things. Like, he's willing to break his moral principles dahil ganito ang nangyayari. And you can't help but wonder na, kung ako siguro sa situation ni Nico, I think I would also break my moral principles kung ganun ang mangyayari. And it's food for thought na siya. Though may mix naman sa kilig, hindi siya nagkukulang. But you can't help but wonder if tama ba or mali talaga sila. There's just like the middle ground na, they're both right, they're both wrong, and what they did is both right and wrong. And same rin sa Ras kasi is that the characters that they try to hide what they've done wrong in the past or ano yung pagtatrato nila sa kanilang J-boys in the past, especially when the J-girls there sa Ras are the ones who are very, very flawed. So dyan po nasasabi na ay hindi pala lahat victims yung main characters niya. Some of them, they were perpetrators of the bad things. And you can't help but wonder that if may tao talaga pang nakilala dyan sa teknolohiya ganyan, you can't help but wonder about that.
Exactly.
You can't help but think na, ay, kaya talaga nila ito gawin.
Yeah. And then, alam mo, bigla ko lang din naalala, like, circling back sa TFA, parang may line ata doon si Josiah before something about na all people do good things and bad things. Like, paano mo ma-judge o makacategorize na if a person is a good person or a bad person? Kasi like yun nga, lahat naman ng tao is capable na gumawa ng mga good things and also bad things at the same time. So parang ganun ko lang siya matatie up dito sa nangyayari ngayon sa RAS and sa ATL. So, you know what? I really think talaga na yung TFA naging parang training ground for us bago tayo mag-dive into dito sa mga much deeper, morally dilemma-inducing type of stories ni Jonaxx. So, ayun. It's really an interesting read talaga yung mga series na to. And yun nga, ang talagang na-achieve yung goal dito. I'm assuming na goal ni Jonaxx dito is yung it makes us think, it makes us see kung how strong ba ang pagkapit mo sa principles when a certain situation arises and it makes you think, do I stick with my principles, my morals, or do I do the most efficient, most practical way para ma-resolve agad yung conflict? Because sometimes you never know when the situation demands it, kung ano yung parang magiging first move mo, ano yung magiging parang reflex mo or yung i-decide mong gawin at that time. Kasi minsan din kailangan mo rin i-weigh yung bigger picture din yung kumbaga ano yung magiging effect nito afterwards, di ba? So, yun talaga yung interesting dito sa Rera Avis tsaka sa ATL. They may be heavy and makes you think, pero at the same time, it's a good timing na rin. Kasi syempre, siguro kinoconsiderin kasi ni Jonaxx na tayong readers niya, yung mga long time nang nakasubaybay sa kanya. Syempre, we're aging, of course. Like, tumatanda tayo as the years go by. So, I think it's in her mindset na, okay, I think maybe a lot of my readers are ready na to read these kinds of stories. Kasi, yun nga, kasama na rin naman to sa pag-evolve niya, sa pagsusulat niya, yung pagiging writer niya. Kasi, yun nga, syempre, she's not gonna be sticking with the same formula over and over again. Like, she has to evolve and dive into different genres, different themes para mas ma-expand yung writing skills niya, and makapagtakal siya ng iba-ibang types of characters for us to love and enjoy, right? So,
I also think her goal is not also to make her characters lovable or gain sympathy na sa readers niya. She's trying to make us think if tama ba yung actions nila, because as her fandom or fan base are already like may tumanda na, you can see that she's trying to make us think if our decisions or yung mga nangyari sa atin is like worth it ba nga husgahan tayo, because if I can recall sa TFA, not everybody likes Ray, not everybody likes Josiah. So, the goal was not, for me, I think the goal for Jonaxx, sa recent young birds, it's not to actually have people love her characters, but to actually see her characters as they have their own flaws, they have their own good sides, they have their own bad sides, because it's easy to sympathize with the main character. And right now, what she's doing is that ayaw niya na mag-sympathize tayo sa kanyang mga character. Yes, like, mapag-isipan tayo nga, tama ba sila or mali ba sila? Like, it's more on their actions na, action-based na, hindi personality-based na ang pag-ano niya sa characters, pag-flesh out. It's more on how they act in the story and no longer what they perceive themselves to be.
I know. Parang kumbaga may yung situation or yung conflict na pumapasok sa story, doon natin nakikita like how they're gonna act into it. Like yung sinabi mo, hindi lang siya basta personality based na lang. Like paano sila mag-react doon sa mga situations na nangyayari sa buhay nila. Like kasi syempre hindi naman all the time na magiging aligned yung personality mo sa paano ka mag-act doon sa nangyari sa buhay mo, di ba? Like yung sinabi ko kanina, you might choose the practical, convenient path para ma-resolve agad yung conflict. And sometimes it might not be aligned yung sa mga morals or principles na kinagisnan mo na. So, yun yung maganda talaga sa ginawa niya dito sa mga news stories niya. And gusto ko yung sinabi mo kanina na she is not aiming for us to love or sympathize her characters. Like, yung pwede mo rin silang hindi magustuhan masyado kasi hindi ka agree sa ginawa nila, and that's okay with her kasi nga yung going back doon sa sinasabi natin na pinag-iisip niya na tayo this time, hindi na puro yung I feel for him, I feel for her so much, yung talagang parang may critical thinking na aspect na talaga tayo when it comes to her characters nga. So yun yung talagang na-appreciate ko and nagustuhan ko talaga sa way of writing niya at present, diba?
Alright. And also, ang gusto ko na sa kanya is that she's exploring a different way of expression sa characters niya. Like, she has characters that are jiggers na sporty, tulad ni Nika and Sage. You also get to have very liberated jiggers like Ray, and you have jiggers with very inconvenient jobs, like for example si Winter escort siya and that was literally her job, and so makikita mo talaga na they're already very distinct in how they are presented in the story. Like they're not just feminine sa paningin sa kanilang J-boys, they have tough personalities, may way sila sa pag-express nila through their clothes, through their hobbies. Na that's no longer the same formula that we're used to. Like, we're so used to J-girls being soft, like may iba palaban, but most of them, like right now, they have their own niches, and that's really refreshing to look and read at, because you can remember that, oh, if sports talaga yung pag-usapan mo, you can remember si Niklas sa volleyball, you can remember Sage sa taekwondo, and that when especially being liberated or being okay with this or that is si Ray. So you can no longer like have to reread their stories to remember their characters. Like, mayroon na silang presence that you can actually distinguish nga, ay, siya pala ito dito. And that's a new formula for readers, because sanay kasi tayo na feminine yung readers niya. So, yung shift niya sa Shelter in Your Fingertips and To Get Over You is makikita mo that she's also having masculine girls in her stories.
Yes,
and it's very validating kasi hindi lahat ng girls dapat maging feminine. And the fact that they never changed how they have to present themselves, like hindi sila dapat magdedress para magugustuhan sila ng lalaki, like kasi just like Niklas na nagja-jacket lang at nagka-cargo pants and nothing more. Ganun lang talaga. It's like you have to embrace the identity na of these characters bukod pa sa kanilang personality, and that's one thing na nakikita ko nga super improvement sa kanya, because we're used to the same formula. And even in other stories, it's the same formula. But here, makikita mo nga, ay, ganito pala yung expression na ng characters niya. This is how they dress. And hindi niya binago throughout the development of the story. It's that it's their identity. So yun, it's great.
Yeah, talagang, alam mo yung talagang nakamarkado talaga dun sa mga girls na to na ganito sila, hindi sila magpapaka yung very girly-girly or yung feminine para lang magustuhan ng guy. I'm glad nga na hindi ginawa ni Jonaxx yun. Kasi, kumbaga, it's about yung na-accept sila for being who they are, on how they express themselves, how they show themselves to the world, na hindi nila binago yung fashion nila or yung style nila para lang mapansin sila nung lalaking gusto nila, diba? And yun nga, maganda nga rin evolvement niya sa pagsusulat ni Jonaxx, kasi I remember syempre yung sa mga past stories niya, diba, yung sa mga naunang series like Elizalde series, Art of Seduction, like those old series nga, talagang kita mo talagang very feminine pa yung mga babae dun. Even sa CLS, diba, yung kita mo talaga na yung typical feminine identity, yung makikita mo, tsaka sa pagkilos nila, yung pag-iisip, ganon. Pero talagang, I saw the shift na talaga dito sa current stories niya na, like what you said, yung medyo may pagka-masculine type na females, ganon. Yung as in Niklas, di ba? Ang nalala ko nga, ang refreshing niya nga, yung sa utak ko, yung dinidescribe syempre ni Azzy, yung paano siya manamit, yung sinabi mo naka-cargo pants, nag-hoodie siya, hindi mo siya nakikitang nakadress until nung kinasal siya, di ba? Spoiler alert! So, talagang it's very nice to read something different nga talaga, something new to being offered to us. And kahit na ganun sila, it did not make them less of a woman. Talagang, they are still women in every way, in every single way. It's just, ganun lang sila manamit, pero syempre in their core, and not just, I mean, of course, gender nila, babae sila, pero in their core, in what they do in life, in their beliefs, thinking processes and everything, they are still woman in every single way. So, yun yung magandang parang cohesiveness na ginawa ni Jonaxx dito, na kahit hindi ka girly-girly on the outside, you're still very feminine and womanly on the inside. Kumbaga, yun, and that's what matters naman doon, di ba? And
also, ang ganda kasi nung pagka-character niya ni Claudette, because sa M-girls kasi, like, though they have similar personalities, si Claudette kasi siya yung fangirl, siya yung may hilig sa kanila. And it's somehow very distinctive because it resonates with a lot of girls na mahilig sila na
Oo, yeah.
fun girls. They love collecting things, they love watching anime, they love watching K-dramas, and mababalidate sila through the character of Claudette. And hindi sila feel na it's shameful to be that way because ganyan talaga ang character na pinakita niya. And the fact that they're becoming more and more relatable sa kanilang mga actions, it makes women think that, oh, women can also do wrong. They're not always the victim that needs saving. They can also be the ones to save their J-boy. They could also be the ones to do something that is bad. Like for example, si Sage, yung binuli niya rin si Pietro noong bata.
Yes.
Na,
siya yung bully.
siya yung bully, and you can get that realization na
bida pa yan, ha?
bully. Like binully niya yung J-boy niya, and that's not new because that's really new because you get to see in the previous stories yung J-girls talaga yung inaasar ng J-boys, or the J-boys are the ones having cold personalities towards their girls. Tapos here sa Shelter Their Fingertips, you get Sage. Siya yung nambully, siya yung quote-unquote the bad guy sa life ni Pietro nung teenage years nila. And that fact in itself, you can see na, ay, ganito pala yung characters niya na ngayon. They're the ones making mistakes now, and they're the ones actually doing something bad. And you can't really see that in previous formulas in her stories. Like, oh my God, may J-girl na bully. At yung binuli ni J-boy.
I know, right? Talagang yung shift talaga, it's groundbreaking talaga. Yun ang masasabi ko doon. So, yeah, and you know what? It's okay reading these types of stories. And yun nga, like going back to sa sinabi natin kanina, we as readers, we always have the freedom naman na if you're gonna like this, if you're gonna read this or not, it's not gonna be a big deal kay Jonaxx. Kasi there will always be naman readers na open sa mga gantong klaseng themes, sa gantong klaseng topics. It's a big shift talaga in Jonaxx's writing, but at the same time, ako personally, I know that this is her way of showing na nagmamature, nag-evolve yung pagsusulat niya, and she's not gonna be sticking in the same formula for the rest of her writing career. And gusto ko talaga nakikita yung growth niya ngayon. Kasi yun nga, like yung sinasabi ko lagi kanina na there's always something fresh and new to offer to us. So yeah, to sum it up, and we've talked about a lot of these characters, and I love this conversation that we had kasi I think this is also something that's gonna be trigger some insights and thoughts sa mga nakikinig ngayon na talagang yung mga characters na sinulat ni Jonaxx, it will definitely make you think kung mag-agree ka sa kanila or hindi. And I know her current characters are complex, but at the same time, they are very beautifully written and really deserving to be read, for stories to be read and for them to be understood then. So, yeah. Thank you very much for your time, Yani. And sa mga nakinig, thank you very much sa pakikinig dito sa part 2 ng third episode of Is It Bawal? The Jonaxx Podcast. So, see you guys till then on the next episode. Bye!